everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews. And today I have a special interview for you. It's a lot of fun. I was able to go to the world premiere of the animated biblical film David, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I anticipated. It's got an epic scope to it. It's got good characters. It's got a good classic story, and the music is actually quite good. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I had the chance to talk to Brandon Engman and Brian Stivale about their work. And Brandon is the voice of young David, and he was also the voice they had a series of it, I guess. So he's the voice here as well. And then Brian is the voice of Samuel the prophet. So it was cool to get to talk with them, hear about their process, and talk to them about the film. So here's the interview. Let me know what you think. Are you a fan of Rachel's Reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics Panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a patron. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie-making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to find out first how you got your roles. And I guess you can introduce yourself to the audience and say your role that you're playing in the movie. And how did you get that role? What about you, Brandon?
Sure, I'll start. I'm Brandon Engman, and I play young David. Young David's about half of the movie, and then the wonderful Phil Wickham takes over the rest of the film. But my journey with this project began in 2017. There was a demo that Sunrise Animation made way back in the day. And yeah, that's where my journey started. I had just finished acting school, and it was my first audition, actually, voiceover audition, was for something called David. I didn't know it was going to be an 8-year journey,
Wow.
But it's been a long and one that's been up and down, but I'm so thankful for it. So yeah, we did the demo, then we did the Young David series, which some people might be familiar with, and then of course the movie that we're talking about today.
So did you do both the speaking and singing?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
I did.
Great.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. That's the first person to ask that.
Yes.
You're the first one who was.
Thank you.
And I know why she asked it too. I will. I'll cover that. I'm Brian Stivale. I was privileged to play the role of the prophet Samuel in this wonderful production. I was not nearly as in-depth involved as Brandon has been since the conception of the art for the demo, but I have been involved for about 3 years now, and I'm privileged to be in it. The reason I think you asked that question is because in Prince of Egypt, we had Amick Byram singing for Val Kilmer.
Yep.
And a couple of other things going on, and usually you don't necessarily have both a double thread or a triple thread in your actors in animation, but here we have two musical
Well, you think
theater.
like in Aladdin as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of that, actually, interestingly enough, throughout the entirety of voiceover. It seems like they went for specialists, but in this instance, we are musical theater people, so it actually comes with it. And adult David is one heck of he's pretty good. Have you heard of him? His name is Phil Wickham. He's been around the world. He's getting these Grammy things. I don't know what they're for, but so yeah, there's a great, incredible amount of through line. Even though they change, there's a beautiful connection between both of their portrayals. And I think Phil actually had the hard work to do because Brandon had already done the footwork, laid the foundation for David. And so that was all recorded before Phil was cast. And so Phil, when he picked it up, had to do the work to sound and feel and be and read like unto a Brandon and be honest with that.
So did you get to record it all together as an ensemble, or was that all individual?
No.
No.
To answer you quickly, no. I did it very briefly. I was in the studio with the Miri, who plays my my mother.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, the dialogue before we sing Tapestry, that we actually got to do that together, which I think was a very nice scene to do together and get that chemistry. But yeah, most of it was, and for me, most of it, I think I did my lines before a lot of other voiceover actors, so it was just me alone in a booth with the directors. And some actors, did you get to listen to any voices?
I think I don't think I had playback for anything except for I got a test of playback to hear the tone of Saul for one of the scenes. But I think it's actually, particularly the post-COVID, it's definitely more of a regular routine that you don't get to work with ensemble casts in one room. It's also facilitating an international cast. And because of that, I think that made timing a bit of a bear for people to work out as far as doing a conglomerative. Also, with excellent direction, I found that you don't necessarily need to be in the same room. It's not the same animal as theater, which would be a complete catastrophe if you put a Zoom theater production together. Although now I have an idea for a theater production.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think there's something to be said for when you have excellent direction of sewing these lines, this dialogue together. You get a real honesty. And they actually, I believe they derived the most incredible performances out of us and sewed them together so beautifully that you would imagine we all stood in an ensemble room and did this thing as a reading together.
Mm-hmm. We'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Aura Frames, and Aura's digital picture frames make the perfect holiday gift for the person that you are struggling right now to know what to get them. We all have those people on our gift list that are very difficult to shop for, but with Aura Frames, you can get them something that's personal, meaningful, and easy for you, which I think is the goal for any Christmas gift giving. Aura Frames, you can have unlimited free photos and videos. Just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi. You can preload the photos before the frame ships, and you can keep adding from anywhere at any time. You can also personalize the gift with a message before it arrives, and every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Don't wait, win the holidays now with Aura Frames. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code Hallmarkies at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell it fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. Terms and conditions apply. Your vocal performances are pretty close to your normal voices from what I can tell, but I'm curious, like, what did you do to make the character its own?
Yeah. If you're listening to me right now and have seen the film, I kind of sound like young David. So there wasn't too much change. But I will say, I think just finding the heart of David, that was the main, the goal. And I think the voice kind of came with that. For David, it's his adventurous spirit, humbleness, fearlessness, his faith. I think when I found that, that was most of the work, and the voice just kind of came for me. Yeah.
For me, I don't usually sing with the Hebrew accent. I do sing in Hebrew, ironically enough, on a regular basis. My wife and I keep the feasts and Shabbat, and we teach Hebrew roots and ancient biblical studies, and so Hebrew is part of that, and praying and singing in Hebrew are part of that as well. But even that, I'm doing that from my heart. But I don't necessarily have to attach any kind of a Hebraic accent to it. But Samuel's distinction and what their direction was, that they very much wanted the authenticity of that from me. I'm an ex-resident of East Jerusalem, and so it was really easy to pick up on the accent that I was surrounded by on a daily basis. So it was really kind of fun to be able to embody that. But yeah, as far as tone and everything, the hardest part, and he's heard this a million times, but the hardest part for me was degrading my voice to sound more honest and natural in the moment rather than being musical theater and coiffed and clear and pretty. And, you made a point earlier that sometimes when you're watching a movie musical and something turns into a fully produced, beautiful, and it doesn't match the character, it doesn't match the action, and it pulls you out of what's going on rather than pushing you further in. And I think that the way that this was vocally directed, gives it this honesty and this beautiful truth that moments like Adventure Song or Samuel's Blessing both take on their individually appropriate honesty. And so they're more inviting, they're more enjoyable, and it's more character relevant. So I think they're more successful at doing that. They also wrote incredible music.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the songs, with the music. Yeah. Altogether, I was impressed with the film. I thought it was very entertaining. And I'm curious, what do you think will surprise viewers the most about the movie? What do you think makes it special and stand out?
I think
the appearance of Darth Vader is the most shocking.
Very shocking.
Very
moment.
shocking.
That's a big moment.
Not in the picture. Not in the picture. You can cut that out.
I mean, we can talk about the animation. Sunrise Animation, based out of Cape Town, is, they are a small animation company compared to the big Goliaths in the industry.
Literal Goliaths.
Yes. And the detail in their animation is unreal. Every time I watch this film, you see different Easter eggs. And Linton...
Lovegood, yeah.
Lovegood?
Yeah.
Okay. From Sunrise was kind of in charge of all that research, and the details in the hair. You were talking about just the buttons on your shirts, and it's just
even the fray of the fabric,
yes.
The designs. David has a lapel design on the corner of his tunic, both young and adult David, that are the crests off of his harp, and that's part of the symbol of the city of David. So that became his emblem long before the Star of David was, and that's in there. And there's all these little elements, just the details. It's a really, truly amazing. Yeah, I agree with you. The animation was shocking.
Truly, yeah, I'd say.
I was surprised how sort of epic the storytelling was, because I was expecting, this is just going to be David and Goliath.
Yeah.
That's really only the beginning.
And that's typically what you get, right? Is the David and Goliath story. And that's what everybody knows, and everybody knows the David and Goliath, to the point where it's a sports metaphor. I mean, it's or a metaphor in anything. You might not even know the Bible, but you'll know David and Goliath means underdog. And it usually stops there, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it. This in 1st and 2nd Samuel go on and on and on. And the life of David goes even deeper and more rich and more complicated and more amazing and even as he gets to become older David. But we stop at Ziklag, which is even going further on after Saul's been hunting him, and we do take a long time transition there, but I think it's beautiful because it tells the story of adult David in an equal portion to young David.
Yeah.
And that's where people usually miss out. I mean, other than that, they hear bits and pieces of, and it's usually like the tabloid report of David for adult David. It's like,
right.
Did you hear? David danced before the Lord, half naked in a tunic. And did you hear? David did this with Bathsheba. And did you hear? David sent him to the battlefield. But at the end all be all is there's as much glory and beauty in that part of the story as there is in the young David's faith to defeat Goliath because God was on his side. So I think that they did a really great job of telling the story and writing in, to the right extent, a victory story for David to inspire and entertain.
Yeah. So what would be your pitch to the viewer watching this? They should come out, see this movie. They'll like it.
That's it. You just said it. No.
I think you covered it, man.
I'd say, first of all, this movie is entertaining. People of faith are going to enjoy it, but even people that don't have faith, they're going to have a good time. And seeing it on the big screen is quite an incredible experience. But also, I think this is one of those movies that you'll leave the cinemas, wanting to be a better person, wanting to fight those Goliaths in your life. I know I've been inspired by playing David to be a better person, and I hope other people seeing this film feel the same way.
I believe that if you loved The Prince of Egypt and the soul food that gave us 22 years ago, this pulls a thread all the way across those vacant 22 years back to that same heart that's giving that same kind of soul food that we really long for so much, that comes from these Old Testament stories that everyone can relate to. And I really think that if you loved that, then you're going to adore this, because I believe it really picks up where the Prince of Egypt left off in the level of like unto. It's familial to that. It is of the same ilk as the Prince of Egypt, and I believe that it actually exceeds it in many ways.
Well, very good. Thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Uncommon Goods. The countdown is on. Holiday shopping season is officially here. Uncommon Goods takes the stress out of gifting with thousands of unique, high-quality finds you won't see anywhere else. Don't wait. The most meaningful gifts get scooped up fast, and now's the perfect time to cross names off your list. What I really liked when I looked at their website is that you can go to the exact category of the person that you're shopping for. So you can look for gifts for women. And then in particular, they have a whole section for moms, for grandmas, for wives, for teenagers. And within each of those categories, there's all these creative ideas. And I had a lot of fun looking at the teen category. I have some nieces and different things that, would be fun to shop for. And I love the creativity in so many of the gifts. You've got create your own reel viewers. You've got a photo and label printer. I definitely think there is something for everybody, and it's worth checking out their site. And it's also nice that when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Cross those names off your list before the rush. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/hallmarkies. That's uncommongoods.com/hallmarkies for 15% off. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. So thanks so much to the team behind David. It was really fun to get to talk with Brandon and Brian. I hope you enjoyed the interview. And if you get to see the movie, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about all the things we talked about. I would sure appreciate it. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And right now at KSL Movie Show. That's been a ton of fun. And you can follow me at Hallmarkies Podcast all over the place. Make sure to check that out. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And I have all of my interviews in a playlist, so you definitely want to check that out. And check out the Patreon. That's the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing. You get to be part of our watch-alongs and other events. And you can listen ad-free to the episodes, which is a really cool perk that we have now for the Patreon. And then we have our merch store where we have all kinds of cool holiday designs. We have all kinds of cool movie designs and, of course, Hallmark-inspired designs. So check that out. And thanks again to Brian and to Brandon and to the team behind David. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.